We have a log cabin in the high mountains of Colorado, west of the national park, out of the little town of Grand Lake. So I think this was about, we go there some in the summers. That's how he hurt his arm, falling backwards, pulling weeds up there. About 3 years ago, we went up there and I was very depressed about something in our family. And I found it wasn't beautiful to me then. We're on a lake and we see the park mountains, but I couldn't see them. I was so preoccupied. So I wrote this: returning, high place on lake. Nearly 20 summers here, 7 in our house we built. We too imagined the here as if heaven, as if we ourselves planed these pine logs. You drew it facing the water at nearly 9,000 feet. I collected carefully each furnishing for 2 years in Houston, scavenged like a rat. We built dams over any flood of disappointment like the beavers who gnaw here. I envisioned each of 6 rooms, what would go where, color, texture, and theme. That January you ascended to the frozen paradise to prod the builders. 2 icy weeks below zero you worked at their sides with hammer and fur gloves. In May we moved in. I thought I had never seen such glory, such an image become life. It was everything we labored for, more. But now I find nothing much external excites me, not even the entire Rocky Range, with a few ice peaks this July. June's killing fires, that was the year they had such fires in Colorado, didn't touch me. So what if it burns? Time with its happenstances has seared us too, like forest crisp, with its refining blaze. Are outer views now irrelevant? As your humorous dead brother once laughed, body parts begin to fall off. They're not under warranty. At 70, like these huge osprey here, we dive deep to feed. We have mostly soul left. So we stayed that year, thank you, from June until October. The leaves turn in September, it's so high. And I had never seen, except in pictures, aspen. And they're more than the pictures, they were gorgeous. But they turned mid-September and we got to see all of them. And we left there driving back here October 1 because our first grandbaby's birthday is October 5. And naturally, Grandma wanted to be at the first party. By the time we left, I was happy. So I wrote an opposite poem. On leaving the lake, 9,000 feet, we came in summer heat, through drought, and no campfires were allowed. We stayed through 2 weeks of Indian fall, with aspen so gold and red that could have been butter and fire. No rain, so leaves lingered. My 2 bought trees have not turned. I water them daily. Hummingbirds migrate to Mexico. Yesterday, first snow on the Rocky Peaks. Geese are paused on our lake. Crows call for the start of cold. Moose are now sleuthing, and elk are mostly across roads in the national park, hiding from hunters. They say elk are very intelligent, and in the hunting season, they all go in the park because you can't shoot them in the park, which is right across the road from us. My red geraniums still bloom, and the purple petunias we have to leave. No freezes have come, although 3 fall frost. Fields are brown, ground cover is red, cafes and shops in town lock their doors. Stores are beginning to sport skis, snowmobiles. Although I am still swimming daily in the main lodge's heated pool, it closes next week. Time to leave? Who can board up this gorgeous plenty? We will drive south now to family, friends, to what we call home. And one last short one. You know, sometimes in your life, it might have been a very minor experience, but you remember it vividly. And before I read the title, I want to thank Fran for all she has done and imagined, keeps doing for Poet. She's in Poets One, and the board who is here, and the advisory board, and everybody who's working their little selves to death for such a project for poetry. So I appreciate it very much. We lived in Syracuse, New York for almost 10 years because Ted went to graduate school there. We moved from Louisville, and Louisville's a beautiful city, or it used to be, I guess it still is. And we got to Syracuse and stayed in one of the cheapest motels in town to find an apartment and a job for me. And how many have been to Syracuse besides Bob Phillips went to graduate school there, his wife went to graduate school there. It's a very gray city a lot of the time. The clouds come in moisture right off Lake Ontario, and they hang very low, unless it is very, very cold. And then they lift, and you might have 1 in 20 bright sunny days. So I was in graduate school. I had taken a leave. We lived only 4 blocks from the university for my job at a community college. It was noon, and I looked at the big thermometer we had on our front porch, and it said 0. It was November 1. It was today, November 1, and it was 0. And I thought, I need to take a walk because the sun is out. So, how to receive. It was November 1 in Syracuse, New York, some 40 years ago. Leaf colors had just passed. Global warming had not yet come. It was total blue and clear sky. So I wanted to take a walk. Ground was so slightly white, air crisp enough I could hear my own breath, my crunch steps on ground. That day, all trees bare, the big thermometer we set on the porch said 0, I recall.